Today I'm going to show you guys how I dock my jailbroken Nintendo Switch Lite using SysDVR and a mini PC. Using this method, you'll finally be able to enjoy most of the games you have for your Switch Lite on the big screen. Now this method isn't exactly new, it's been out for a while. Reason why I haven't talked about it until now is because I've been waiting for a more efficient and cost-effective way to use this on my day-to-day. And I think I might have found that with the use of this mini PC. Alternatively, you can get this method working on laptops, some single board computers like Raspberry Pis, and even certain Android devices. But the best results that I've gotten have been while using this mini PC. So first things first, let's go over what you're going to need. Number one, and probably most important, is you need a jailbroken Switch Lite. Unfortunately, this method will not work on a stock Nintendo Switch. Next, you're going to need some kind of Windows PC. Now, you can use a massive desktop. You can even use an old laptop that you repurposed, but I myself am using a mini PC, and the one that I'm using is the Camrui AK1 Plus. Now it's nothing extraordinary, it's a pretty basic mini PC, it has an N95 in it, and this specific model has 16 gigs of RAM. Now the reason why I chose this one is because it's actually fairly cheap. You can find it on Amazon any given day for about 150 bucks, but this mini PC frequently goes on sale. I was able to catch mine on sale for a little bit under $130, and it's powerful enough for when it's not being used to dock my Switch Lite. It makes for a solid light gaming and emulation PC, so that's a nice added bonus. So now that we have those two things, fire up your Windows PC and head over to the SysDVR GitHub page. I'll have a link to it in the description. Once we're here, we're going to download two files, the SysDVR client for Windows and the sysdvr.zip file. Once those two are downloaded, we're going to extract the sysdvr.zip file. Once extracted, you should see three folders pop up. Now take the SD card out of your jailbroken Nintendo Switch and connect it to the PC. Once connected, we're going to copy and paste the three extracted folders onto the root of our SD card. If a message pops up asking you if you want to replace any of the files in the destination, go ahead and select yes. Once that's done, you can remove the SD card and pop it back into your Switch. Now we're going to go to that SysDVR client Windows zip file and extract it to its own folder. Go inside the extracted folder and double click the SysDVR client application. Once it boots up, the first thing we're going to do is go down to the tab that says USB driver and click that. We need to install the USB driver so that this PC recognizes our Switch. Once the driver install page pops up, go ahead and click install. If a Windows security message pops up, go ahead and click install on there too. Now it should take about a minute or two, but once it's done, you should be greeted with a message stating that the install was successful. Click go back, and now we're going to head over to our Switch Lite. Power up your Switch Lite and go into your HB menu. On mine, it's accessed by clicking the photo album. Here is where we'll find the SysDVR settings application that we just installed. Go ahead and click on it. Once loaded up, you're going to see three options. We're going to make sure that the USB option is set to enabled. I also have mine set to on boot so that it will automatically go to this option every time I reset my Switch. Once that's enabled, you can go back to the home screen. Now we're going to plug in our USB cable from the Switch to the mini PC. Select the game you want to play and fire it up. Now head back over to the SysDVR client program and click USB mode. Your Switch should pop up on the list of devices and go ahead and click it. After a few seconds, the game that you selected on your Switch should pop up on the screen. And that's it, you've done it. You can now use your Nintendo Switch Lite in dock mode. Now a few key things to note are it's far from perfect. You may encounter a few hiccups now and then. Sometimes I've noticed some graphical stuttering, and if you pay really close attention, you'll notice that there's like a fraction of a second delay. But it's really nothing game affecting, and even fast-paced games that require high levels of precision ran perfectly fine using this method. Also, not everything will work on SysDVR. Most Nintendo Switch games work perfectly fine, but there are certain games, emulators, and homebrew that just won't display on the screen, and you'll be met with an error message telling you the game you're trying to play is not compatible. But there are a bunch that do actually work, so there's going to be a degree of trial and error while you figure it all out. Another thing to note is, yes, you can get this method working wirelessly, but I myself have had mixed results, and the best results were connecting it to this mini PC using a USB cable. Speaking of USB cables, another option is using a third-party dock or a USB-C cradle so that it's all a little more clean and organized. And the last thing to note is you can still use any of your Pro controllers or Joy-Cons while this thing is docked. You can even pick up the Switch Lite itself and use that as a controller if you want. I myself am using a Pro controller, but the options are all yours. And that's pretty much it, guys. An easy, quick, and pretty effective way to enjoy your jailbroken Switch Lite in dock mode. As always, I'll have links to everything in the description below. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.